I never forgot the way Sophia used to kiss me. Slow, deliberate, like every second of her mouth on mine meant something. But that was years ago, back when love felt simple and mornings didn't start with a knot in my chest. Back when marriage still felt like a future, not a quiet battlefield. The night everything finally broke wasn't explosive. It was quiet, eerily quiet. Our house in Seattle was dark except for the warm glow from the kitchen lights. Rain tapped gently against the windows, the kind of soft rhythm that usually calmed me. But that night, the sound only amplified the silence between us. Sophia walked in with her usual half-smile, the one she gave when she wasn't sure how to act around me anymore. She smelled like the floral perfume she always swore she only wore on special days. I'd stopped asking what counted as special. I already knew the answer. I was sitting at the table with a mug of untouched coffee. The clock read 9:12 p.m. It shouldn't have felt late, but somehow it felt past midnight. She hesitated when she saw me. Just a flicker barely noticeable unless you've been looking for cracks. I've been looking for months. "Hey," she said softly, walking closer. "Rough day." I nodded. "Something like that." She stepped behind me, hands sliding gently over my shoulders in what was supposed to feel like affection. It didn't. It felt like obligation, like muscle memory she couldn't unlearn. My skin tensed under her touch. She didn't notice, or maybe she pretended not to. I waited. Then she did it. She leaned down to kiss me, slow and familiar, just like she used to when things were still real. But I turned my face just enough that her lips brushed the corner of my mouth instead. She froze. Not dramatically. No gasp, no flinch, just a small stiffening of her body. The subtle kind that tells you someone has been caught before they even understand how. And that's when I whispered it, softly, calmly, like it was nothing more than a passing thought. "I know about your lover," I said. "And I already made him pay." Her hand slipped off my shoulders instantly. She stepped back, eyes wide, breath catching in her throat. For a moment she didn't speak. She didn't even blink. She just stared at me like she wasn't sure if she'd heard correctly, or if her world had tilted off its axis. What?" she finally managed. "Ethan, what are you talking about?" I turned around slowly in my chair. Her face was pale, the kind of pale that comes when fear mixes with guilt. The kind you can't hide no matter how practiced your lies are. "I know about him," I repeated. "All of it." She swallowed hard. "There's no one else." "Ethan, please. Don't lie," I said quietly. "Not anymore." Her eyes darted away, toward the counter, toward the window, anywhere but me. People look around like that when their mind is searching for an exit they know doesn't exist. "I don't understand," she whispered. "What do you mean you made him pay? What did you do?" I didn't answer immediately. I let her sit with the question, let the weight of it sink into her bones. Her breathing grew uneven, shallow. She wrapped her arms around herself, suddenly cold. "Sophia," I said calmly. "You think I'm stupid?" Her lips trembled. No, of course not. You think I didn't notice the late nights? The way you guarded your phone like it was a lifeline? The sudden perfume, the sudden distance? You think I didn't notice you stayed at your sister's when her car was parked in front of her apartment all night? A tear slipped down her cheek. Not sadness, not yet. Just exposure. "Ethan, please just tell me what you did." I stood up slowly. I could hear her breath hitch. I didn't touch her. I didn't move toward her. I simply looked at her the way someone looks at a stranger who's been living in their house. "You really want to know?" I asked. She nodded, shaking, bracing herself. "Then sit down." The way her legs almost gave out told me everything. She wasn't worried about me hurting her. She was terrified of what I knew. Sophia lowered herself into the chair across from me like her body had suddenly forgotten how to move. Her hands were trembling, fingers twisting together, knuckles white. She kept glancing toward the hallway like she expected someone to walk out and rescue her. "There's no one coming," I said quietly. "Just you and me." Her throat bobbed as she swallowed. "Ethan, please just tell me what you know." I sat down again, mirroring her posture, elbows on my knees, calm in a way that made her even more uneasy. She was used to my gentleness. She wasn't prepared for my clarity. "I've known for 2 months," I said. "About Connor." Her breath caught. That was the moment she knew there was no more lying. Hearing his name killed the last piece of denial she'd been clinging to. She covered her mouth with her hand. A strangled, broken sound escaped her. I'm sorry, she whispered. I nodded. I believe you. But sorry isn't the same as faithful. Tears fell freely now. She leaned forward, elbows on the table, fingers pressed against her forehead as if she were holding her skull together. Did you talk to him? She asked, voice shaking. No, I said. She looked up surprised. I didn't talk to him, I continued. I didn't need a conversation. I needed the truth. Confusion flickered across her expression, but underneath it was fear, real fear. What does that mean? Ethan, what did you do? I made him pay, I said simply. She pushed back from the table, chair scraping the floor. Oh my God. Did you hurt him? I exhaled softly. Sophia, sit down. No. Tell me, she cried. Tell me what you did to him. I let a few seconds pass. Then I leaned back in my chair. I didn't lay a hand on him, I said. But I didn't have to. Connor works at Harrington Industries in Denver. He's been stealing equipment and selling it on the side for months. I found out because he accidentally used our joint credit card to rent a storage unit for the stolen gear. Your lover isn't very bright. She covered her face with her shaking hands. Ethan. Oh my God. I reported it, I continued calmly, with proof. They fired him last week. Her hand slipped down just enough for me to see her expression. Shock, guilt, disbelief, but not anger. She knew he had chosen his own destruction long before I ever touched the match. He lost his job, she whispered. He lost more than his job, I said. His fiancée found out he was cheating. She left him the same day. Sophia's eyes widened in horror. He had a fiancée? Yes, I said softly. Apparently betrayal isn't as romantic as you thought. She sobbed into her palms, shoulders shaking. Everything she'd been holding in for months. The lies, the secrets, the guilt pouring out at once. I didn't mean for any of this, she choked out. Ethan, I never wanted to hurt you. But you did. My voice was gentle, not accusing. I wasn't angry. I was past anger. I don't need revenge, I said. I needed honesty, closure, and now I have it. She looked at me through tear-blurred eyes. What happens now? I stood and walked to the window. The rain had slowed to a drizzle, the kind that makes the world quiet enough to think. What happens now, I said, is we stop pretending. She covered her mouth again, breath-breaking. Are you leaving me? I turned toward her. Leaving? No. I left a long time ago, Sophia. You just didn't notice. She shook her head helplessly. I can fix this, Ethan. Please just give me a chance. I moved back toward the table, slow and steady. This isn't about punishment, I said. It's about truth. You kissed me tonight like nothing was wrong. That was the moment I knew you weren't ready to admit anything. Not until you were cornered. She lowered her gaze. So here's what's going to happen, I continued, voice still calm. Tomorrow I'm moving out. Not forever, not yet. I need distance. And you need to understand what you almost threw away. Her chin trembled. Are we over? I shook my head gently. No, Sophia. We're not over. But we're not the same either. Trust isn't something you ask for. It's something you rebuild brick by brick, day by day. She wiped her tears, nodding slowly, brokenly. And Connor, she whispered. I held her gaze with cold, quiet truth. He paid for the part he played. And now, I said softly, you're going to pay for yours, not with suffering but with honesty. She closed her eyes, sobbing again, but this time not from fear, from realization. Realization of what she had almost ruined, and of the man she had underestimated all along.